Imagine it's Sunday afternoon. The house is vibrating with screams. Your friends are literally face to face with a TV screen, veins popping out of their necks, emotionally devastated because 11 strangers in another state just dropped a ball. You're standing in the kitchen holding a drink, wondering, am I the only sane person left on Earth? Why does this feel like a cult I wasn't invited to? If you've ever felt like a broken human because you can't bring yourself to care about touchdowns or home runs, this video is for you. We're gonna look at why your brain refuses to join the merch tribe, why you don't get a hit from someone else's sweat, and why your indifference isn't a flaw, it's a psychological superpower. Society treats sports fandom as the default setting for normal people. But have you ever stopped to look at the behavior? Grown adults wearing another man's name on their back, weeping over a scoreboard? There is a biological trick happening here. For thousands of years, humans survived by being part of a tribe. If your tribe won, you ate. If they lost, you died. For sports fans, their brains are still living in that cave. They see a team logo and their body releases oxytocin, the same hormone that makes a mother love her baby. They aren't just watching a game. Their brain is tricking them into thinking those millionaire athletes are their actual family. But for you, that trick doesn't work. Your identity isn't tied to a group. You don't need to belong to something bigger to feel complete. You are an individual, and that makes you a rare breed in a world of followers. Why do they keep watching, even when their team is terrible? Because sports are designed like the world's most effective slot machine. Every play is a microdose of maybe. Maybe they'll score. Maybe they'll win. This unpredictability keeps their dopamine flowing in a constant addictive loop. If you find sports boring, it's likely because your brain's reward system isn't triggered by vicarious competition. You don't get a hit from watching someone else win a jackpot. This isn't a lack of passion. It's a high bar for what earns your excitement. You'd rather get your dopamine from your own achievements, your own creative projects, or your own real-life victories. You aren't interested in the gambling aspect of being a spectator. Have you ever noticed the pronoun switch? When the team wins, fans say, "We won." When the team loses, they say, "They played terrible today." This is called burgeoning basking in reflected glory. It's a way to borrow success from someone else, to boost your own self-esteem. As someone who doesn't obsess over sports, your self-concept is likely much more stable. You don't need a guy in a jersey to win a game for you to feel like a success. Your self-worth isn't dependent on things you can't control. While fans are on an emotional roller coaster dictated by a referee's whistle, you are standing on solid ground. You own your victories and you own your losses. You don't borrow glory. There's a myth that people who don't like sports lack empathy. But the truth is about empathy allocation. We all have a limited budget for how much we can care. Fans spend their emotional currency on strangers wearing their team's colors. You choose to spend yours elsewhere. Research shows that people with low sports interest often score higher in openness to experience. You're finding your emotional highs in art, music, nature, or deep intellectual challenges. You aren't cold. You're just investing your heart in places where there is actual reciprocity. You want your care to matter to the outcome. You'd rather be a participant in your own life than a spectator in someone else's. For some, the hate for sports is actually a deep-seated defense mechanism. Maybe you remember the sting of being picked last in gym class. Maybe you're repelled by the aggressive us versus them mentality that sports culture often encourages. But for most of you, it's simpler. You just find the narrative meaningless. Sports fans love the underdog story or the dynasty. To you, it's just a bunch of people moving a ball around a field for no real reason. You don't find meaning in a manufactured drama. You find meaning in reality, in the things that actually change your life, your community, or your mind. There is something quietly radical about not caring. While the world spends 3 hours every Sunday experiencing someone else's struggle, you are engaged in your own. You are present. Think about the flow state, that moment where you lose track of time because you're so absorbed in what you're doing. Fans get that from watching, you get that from doing. Whether it's coding, painting, hiking, or building a business, you are choosing direct engagement over vicarious living. You aren't watching the game. You are playing the only one that actually has stakes. The next time the big game comes around and the world goes crazy, don't feel like you're missing a part of the human experience. You've just calibrated your life differently. Your brain's reward system, your sense of self, and your tribal instincts are all tuned to a different frequency. You don't need the noise to feel alive. You don't need a team to feel like you belong. You are perfectly okay being the person in the kitchen wondering what all the fuss is about. You aren't broken. You aren't boring. You're just playing a different game, one where you're the star, not the audience. What's the one popular thing that everyone seems to love, but you just can't bring yourself to care about? Is it sports, celebrity gossip, or something else entirely? Tell me in the comments. Let's find the other sane people in the room.